Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second edition of the PMPA Town Hall 2020. Based on your feedback from the last one, we have added the other directors, Renee, Miles, and Carli. Hi. I hope you are all safe and healthy, and thank you for joining us. If throughout today's town hall you have questions, please use the question section on your little dashboard, which should be either to the right or left of you. And Joe will be monitoring those. If it's pertaining to something that we're talking about and it's something very important, we'll address it at that time. But otherwise, we will take as much time as needed at the end of our introductory comments in order to take care of your questions and answers. So I've been very happy to hear from many of you that you are very grateful for everything that we've done for the COVID-19 resource pages on our website, that we've curated all of this information, also for the HR and the corporate listservs. So really want to express my gratefulness to the PMPA staff. Everybody has really been stepping up and doing their jobs. I mean, we're better together even when we're apart. And we've been working even harder to keep that creativity and that collaboration going so that we can bring you everything that you need to adapt and thrive. So to that end, if you are not on the HR or the corporate listservs, or someone in your company is not, please look into that and be sure that you're there, because there's a ton of amazing information that's been going on. Most recently, I think on the HR listserv, Miles, if I'm not mistaken, they've been talking about there are still some shops that are still smoking and the transition to non-smoking. So that's one of the most recent things that's outside of the COVID world that people have been grappling with.
Exactly.
Yeah, so and also the Technical Tuesdays, the webinars that we have added since this whole COVID issue started with our country, we wanted to continue to bring you more information, so we've started the Technical Tuesdays webinars. Those have been really well received. The evaluations have been really good, and they're growing every week, and so we really encourage you to attend those. I would also recommend, if you have colleagues that you have told them that they should consider membership in PMPA, mention these Technical Tuesday webinars to them, because there is a fee for non-members to attend, but it's a great way to introduce PMPA in a new way and a more direct way, and then we can help them follow up with them and offer information about the organization. So please consider that as well. I want to welcome all the new members who are in attendance today. We've had a great response in the last 6 months to our membership campaign, and so I want to welcome those. We are trying very hard to onboard everyone as best as possible, and I really want to thank Joe Jackson and Matt Gilmore for their assistance in the onboarding and review of member benefits. Matt's also working on new benefits, reviewing our affinity programs, and doing things that will further help you be successful in your business and hopefully affect your bottom line. So know that we're continuing to do all of those kinds of things. You'll see throughout this town hall that your PMPA staff continues to be very hard at work. We've had some physically distanced in-person meetings, not quite once a week, plus the online Zoom meetings and phone calls. And so we do hope to get back together in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We are working to gather enough sanitizing solution and things like that in the office to be sure that it's a sustainable process once we're all back together. So speaking of physically distanced, the PMPA Board of Directors this year will be holding a hybrid meeting. They typically have their annual meeting in June, or their biennial or semi-annual meeting in June. And this year, due to physical distancing and as different states are doing different things and are in different stages of reopening, we've decided to make it a hybrid meeting based out of here in Cleveland. That will allow some more of the board members to perhaps drive in. We'll keep it physically distanced, otherwise we'll be virtual. So that'll be an interesting new thing and give us a chance to really work on trying a hybrid meeting, and that allows us to test the waters for what may or may not come in the future. So that's a good opportunity for us to do that. Also, because of the need for continued physical distancing, we are announcing changes to our mastery program, which you may have heard some about, but I'll turn things over to Carli now to let you know a little bit more about that and some other things that she's working on.
Thanks. Hi, everyone.
Glad you could join us today. Yeah, our mastery program, which was supposed to launch with the tech conference in May, obviously has been postponed. Right now, the first tour, and when I'm talking about the mastery program, for those who don't know, it's 3 separate 2-day bus tours of the entire supply chain, along with miles free as your instructor. It's incredibly, it's unparalleled, truly. But of course, because of COVID, we had to push it. So right now, the first tour is August 27th through 28th. The second tour remains in September, and the third tour would be with the PMTS show and the tech conference in 2021. Obviously, we are monitoring this very closely. If things have to change, we will let you know. I'm in constant contact with the hotels and the bus service. Worst case scenario would be that we just not have it for this year and start it in Cleveland in 2021 and go in reverse. So our second tour would be Detroit, Toledo, and then we would end with the tech conference in 2022, which is in Milwaukee. So keep an eye out for that. Currently, like I said, it's still going on. If you're worried about signing up and saving a seat, but you won't get a refund, we're having refunds, full refunds through August 7th anyways. And by then we should know what's going on with all the states and the governors and what needs to happen. But we're watching that very closely. Also with PMTS, we are constantly working with Gardner to make sure that we can pull that off with the necessary safety measures. Obviously, we want to keep everyone safe. Gardner is incredible about keeping up with the latest technologies and ideas and such. So keep right now, PMTS 2021 in Cleveland in April, that is happening, and it may look a little different. We don't know, but we're on top of it. We want to make sure we get that information to you and that opportunity to you. And as Kate mentioned, we have our Technical Tuesday webinars. If there are any tech members out there that haven't participated but would like to, please contact me and make sure you sign up for those. We are currently booked through August, so we've got a lot of information heading your way. And then we also have our podcasts, which are Monday with Miles, and we have a new podcast or two launching every Monday, and you can get that from our website or on any of the major platforms. So that wraps it up for me. Renee, you want to fill everybody in on the annual meeting?
I can do that. So as of today, we are still planning on having the annual meeting. It is going to look a little bit different with everything that's going on. We have totally revamped the program and speakers. We have decided to, it is going to be a refocus. It's going to be a refocus, a recharge and rally your troops. So all the programs are going to revolve around helping you, show you where you are now, where we're going, and how do we need to get there. So the speakers that we have on the program are all people that you know and you trust. We will have John Guzik and Omar Nashashibi from the Franklin Partnership will be there to give not only an update on the election that will be happening a couple weeks after the annual, but they will also be there to talk about all the new regulations and what the new workplace with all the regulations is going to look like. We also will have Dave Schreiner and or Melanie Weber from Fisher Phillips on hand to talk about the legal issues and safety issues that you will have to deal with going forward with your employees. So they will be there. They have been a great help. Both John and Omar and Fisher Phillips have been just a great resource for us over the last couple months. So they will be there. We also will have Jean Barinholtz. Jean did a webinar for us last week on the PPP loans, did a great job, we got great feedback. He has, agreed to come and, talk about your finances, whatever will be happening then. Can't tell you what it is right now, but it is going to be up to date as of that day. We are also going to have a member panel discussion. So you will hear from, your, peers on, what they're up to, what they have gone through, and what they have plans for the future. So it's going to be the same old, not the same old, but it's going to be a great program. The annual meeting is scheduled for Thursday through Sunday, October 22nd through the 25th. We are going to be at the Big Cedar Lodge in Ridgedale, Missouri, which is just outside of Branson. This is a very different venue for the annual meeting. It's actually it's an outdoor, it's a wilderness resort. It is very secluded. It's in the Ozark Mountains down in southeast Missouri. It's beautiful. It's going to be beautiful in the fall, the weekend that we are there. There's a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of things to do. Lodging will be totally different. You can get a room in the lodge. You can get a cabin out on the lake. So it's going to be great. So as of right now, we are still planning on it. We will continue to monitor things throughout the summer. If things will happen to change, we will let you know. But as of right now, we are still going forward, and should look for registration and all that information online here within the next month. Kate?
Fantastic, thanks. Yeah, I'm really look forward to this annual meeting. I think the property looks beautiful. There's a lot of open space. There are trails in the woods. There are things to do. It's not, it's, if you are in the Midwest, it is drivable. If you choose not to fly, or if your summer family vacations get kind of messed up, you can get a family cabin and all be together in this very woodsy area. So I think it is very, very different from everything that I've seen in past annual conferences in the records. And I know I'm really looking forward to that kind of just that kind of a nature presence. I think it'll be very calming for everything that we've all been through this year. So I hope you'll consider joining. And as Renee said, we'll keep everyone apprised of any changes that may happen in the coming months. So at this time, I'm going to turn things over to Miles, who will give a few updates. And then after that, we'll get into our Q&A.
All right. Thank you, Kate. To everyone out there, virtual hello. Thank you for staying engaged with us at PMPA. And don't I have a great team to work with? We know that you have a lot more on your plate than you can probably say grace over these days. And so we're pleased to be able to identify and share with you authoritative materials to help you deal with this uncertainty and ambiguity which is coming out of Washington, and all this risk we couldn't even imagine, even a few months ago. If I have anything to say, I have a lot of thank yous to say. The Franklin Partnership has been providing us with, up to the minute details on developments in Washington, D.C. And what I'd like you to just understand is, you see the stuff we post on the PPP loans, the EIDL loans, loan forgiveness. What you don't see is that John and Omar are working in the House and in the Senate with the tax writing committees on trying to get these terms turned around regarding the loan forgiveness, the dates, the things that you guys all brought up in the survey that we sent out lately. So you may recall we've asked you to contact your officials. There's a bill in the House right now. It's going to deal with the length of time regarding these PPP loan forgiveness and the dates. The Senate has another bill that's following up. We expect it in a week or two. That's coming out of the Tax Writing Committee, and we think that's going to be the one that's going to carry the water on the real forgiveness and the issue with the IRS. So that's in process. And so, yes, we provide you with a lot of materials that you can see, but there's stuff going on that you can't see. And Franklin Partnership's really done a great job helping us do that. The other thing that's going on, media tells us that, Washington's in deadlock, but John was in a meeting with OIRA and the White House and EPA over cost-benefit analysis. So while the media tells you there's nothing going on in Washington except this, the fact is the bureaucrats are still cranking out regulations, and the Franklin Partnership and your PMPA staff is aware of it. We're working on it, and we're commenting and signing on to letters and such as necessary. Fisher Phillips has been providing us with a great deal of assistance on both national scope and local scope. I know anyone on this call from New York has some new rules on reopening. Fisher Phillips has some specific New York materials focused. That's on our website. Dave Schreiner, Jeff Smith, Melanie Weber have really been part of the Team PMPA to help keep all of you up to date on all the stuff that's going on out there. And I believe Cate mentioned it, but I'd like to mention it too. Here at PMPA, Joe Jackson has really done a fantastic job of curating all of this doggone information for you on our website. He's got it. It's really well organized. It's not one of my random run-on lists. And really, it's like he built the wings on the airplane while we were flying in this COVID storm. It's been a very strong contributor. So that's about all I have to say on the COVID front. On the regular business, we just put out our business trends report for April. It's down. The index came in at 84. We've been in the 130s. 84 is down about 34%. Oh my, that's terrible. I don't think it's terrible at all. In 2010, when we finally recovered from the Great Recession, we averaged that year at 100. In 2009, April, our business trends report was 64 or 68. So we're about 25% higher in April than we were at the height of the Great Recession. And we've got our people are employed, and we've got a lot of money through the government's efforts. And I'm also optimistic. There's a lot of homeowner equity out there sloshing around. You may have seen my post on that in our weekly a couple weeks ago. I do want to say congratulations to all you savvy managers. For the first time in as long as I can remember, the hours of first shift scheduled actually were below 40. So you're not just going on normal, you've adjusted your hours of work as well. Veronica has been supporting our business trends work. I would have never thought we could do this remotely, but she's managed to get me the materials I need to assemble the report, and she's posted it online from home. So like I said, the people you see, the people you don't see, everybody's really doing a great job to make sure that you get the information you need to make great decisions in this really complicated and risky time. I think Cate mentioned and Carli mentioned, we're not just sitting around saying, well, it'd be nice if we could have a meeting. We've created Tech Tuesdays. We've got webinars going on. We created a podcast. The podcast has been getting a lot of views and been getting some good feedback on that. We actually managed to get that podcast recognized by Google the very first day because it attracted so much attention. So PMPA really does have an engaged membership. It's visible to the online media people. And I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the team that we get to work with here for your support of PMPA and all the work that we do for you so that we can all be better together. Cate?
Thanks so much, Miles. Yeah, I just wanted to continue to support the staff and give kudos to them for everything that they have been doing. When we do get the opportunity to come into the office and have a physically distanced meeting and lunch together, it's amazing how much we're all accomplishing remotely, but we also really love those opportunities to get together because we all are able to feed off of each other's energy and kind of refill the tank to get back home and keep it all going. So, you know, I've only been here, 6 months, and I really feel very bolstered by saying and very truthful in telling you, you have an amazing staff for PMPA, and they really keep you in mind with every decision they're making, how to get things better to you, what new things can we do, what new ways can we present the information that we're getting or that we already have. So know that we're doing all we can for you, and we're being very good stewards with everything that we have. And so I hope that you feel the same as I do in thanking them. And hopefully in the fall, you'll be able to thank them in person as well. So at this time, we'll open it up to questions, whether you have questions about what is going on with the organization itself, anything that we've talked about, or if you have any more particular questions, perhaps of something within the business trends or something more about the content of what Miles has brought forth to you today. We'll send it over to Joe and see what we have coming in on screen.
Every day is test day at PMPA for Miles.
True.
All right. Thank you, Kate. The first, it's not a question, it's a comment, and I've gotten 2 of them, and they really like how organized Miles' office looks. Share that.
You saw
This is 5S. This is 5S. These are the books I use weekly. Out of sight of the books I use hourly or daily, but thank you.
And it really is much more organized than it used to be. So I don't know whether that was tongue in cheek or whether that was an actual compliment, and I feel I'm the one with the naked wall, which hopefully by the time of the next town hall, I'll actually have my pictures hung up.
Okay, so we have one from Warren Brooks. He says, can you share with us the statistics associated with PMPA's trial membership? The number of trial members, locations, do they get the same benefits as full-blown members? And what is the criteria for evaluating success of this program?
Who wants to take that one?
Okay, how about one question at a time? We'll see if we can. As far as the statistics of how many and such, we have that. We'd have to pull it to look it up, which we could definitely share with everybody. Do trial members get the same level of benefits? Yes. Yes, they do. We want to make sure that they truly appreciate and experience what PMPA membership can do for them. And that lasts for 1 year. Help me out, Joe. What were some of the other questions?
They want to know how many. So I just pulled up the report. We have 19 trial members. So I think of those 19, I'll bet at least 7 or 8 of them have joined since January. Easily since January.
Yeah.
So, and the rest of them will be due, their 1 year will be over, and they will be renewing as regular manufacturing members here in the next 6 months.
I'd like to share my memory when I was the interim director. I was asked to report about trial members. And at that time, our conversion rate to regular members was 0.875 or 7/8. And so it was effective in that they didn't just come in, kind of grab all the freebies and leave. It was 875 or 7/8 were retained through that program.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I have that document, but yeah, I remember it working on those calculations with you, and yeah, it was in the mid 80% that they stayed on members. So it is, we evaluate it every year to see what adjustments may or may not be made, but yeah, it's in the mid 80s and for percentages.
Kate, we're going to work with you on decimal equivalents. 0.875 is 7/8. Mid-80s. Okay. Hope we're out with another question, Joe.
Next.
All right. The next question is, first, I want to thank you for timely and concise information you have continued to provide. We are excited to have some of our CNC staff attend the technical webinars. Would there be an opportunity for them to access a recording after so we can keep the machines running?
Yes, so all of our Technical Tuesday webinars are recorded and they can be found on pmpa.org. There's a link from the front page in the banner, or if you go under events, Technical Tuesdays, it'll bring you there. You just need to log in as a member and you'll have access to any of the webinars that have already happened. And it's still free.
All right. All right. I've got another comment / question. Someone like Spock behind you, Miles, as well as they just wanted to comment that they have just begun a trial membership within a week and felt very welcomed and appreciate the reduced cost as they evaluate the benefit of the membership.
Welcome to PMPA. Think of us as your outsourced shell answer department, whether it's regulatory, government, technical, HR, accounting. It's not just the staff, but we've got a community of real peer experts. And it's not just somebody hanging a shingle out on YouTube. We know these folks. We've known them for years. When they speak, we all shut up and listen because they know we've walked in their shoes. We know the quality of the stuff they make. So welcome to PMPA.
All right. All right. The next question is, will local chapter meetings be restored soon or perhaps by later this year?
I can take that one. Yes, we are continuing to create, we have a whole calendar for the next year. We're hoping that by September that the chapter meetings are brought back online. I've talked several times with Matt Gilmore about his plans. He has an extensive list of things that he's planning in the next fiscal year, that July to June time frame. Oh gosh, he must have about 36 things on his calendars, and we're hoping that they all are able to continue. Of course, depending on where those are and what the guidelines are for that particular state at that time, will of course govern any changes or rescheduling that needs to be done. But there is a lot of stuff on the calendar.
Okay. All right. Are we getting all the new members advertised on social media, or are they coming from Gardner?
Everyone's being welcomed on our social media channels.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what advertised. We don't advertise anybody.
Perhaps the question is as to how we're finding our new members. This latest member that joined was through LinkedIn connections, but Gardner has supplied Matt Gilmore and Kent Luciano, and they have a process that they're following for new member recruitment and onboarding. I believe somebody else can fill in the details better than I.
Oh, so if we're talking about marketing to get new members, then we have several channels. It's social media, we have direct mail campaigns, we have email campaigns. The email campaigns do come through Gardner because they have the non-members, and we are respecting privacy and such when it comes to email distribution. And then, yes, we also, when people sign up, new companies sign up on our website and they make a profile, there's a follow-up. So there are several different channels, not just advertising, but also sort of behind the scenes stuff on Gardner's production machining website. There's digital content that Miles created. You know, you give us your email and we'll give you the content, and then Kent can follow up with them. So there are a lot of different avenues that we're using to capture people from all around.
And I can add that even the promotional things that come through, even though they're going through the Gardner channels, they're almost entirely being created by Carli. So the content still comes from us. It's just a matter of the distribution.
Okay. And all right, our next question is, how has COVID impacted marketing for manufacturers?
I don't know if we know.
So I'll tackle it. How many of you have been on a webinar like this? How many of you are doing Zoom meetings? How many of you are not shaking hands with somebody at the door, but instead receiving additional digital content? I think everybody's pivoted pretty smoothly to digital delivery, and they've had to identify that it needs to be valuable content, not used car sales pitch. So I've seen that. I know one of our members had some success with the medical parts ventilator rush and hired several people, more people than you'd believe, and they've pivoted to more of a medical approach based on their nimbleness to adjust. So it's a target-rich environment, and marketing is going on, but it's changing, and it's not, here's your donuts and here's your coffee.
And I can add to that as well. I was speaking with one of our members last week who said that she was reaching out to her customers one-on-one to see what they had going on. There were some changes in terms of, you know, I don't want my entire shipment and things like that. And so she took it upon herself to start contacting the customers. So we're seeing not only more digital marketing, but a little bit more one-on-one marketing to see what they need, how can they meet those needs, what can they perhaps negotiate in terms of, can you take some of it now instead of later and shipping. And so so I think that it's kind of going back to that old school relationship building mentality, but unfortunately just on a digital or a telephone platform.
Okay, this question is specifically for Carli, and they're asking, can you elaborate a bit more on the mastery program, audience type, upcoming dates, and more details? Thank you.
I sure can. So the mastery program is meant to open up the conversation between teammates so that everyone's speaking the same language. And it's also to give them experiences that they could not get otherwise, to broaden their horizons outside of our little world. Everybody has their own little world, but you also need to know what's out there. So it's 2-day bus tours. The first one is scheduled for August 27th and August 28th. It is in the Milwaukee, Chicago area, and we would be seeing different shops. We would be seeing different, I'd have to pull the schedule, and everything is online if you want to see all the details, the shops. But each time we go to a shop or to a steel mill, Miles will be there to tell us what we need to see and why we need to see it. So you're not just walking in blind going, ooh, ah. You're actually going to walk out of there learning something, knowing something, having experienced something. Even the smell of steel, as Miles puts it, is important when you're working in this industry. So the next tour will be in the Detroit Toledo area. That is September 15th and 16th. Same thing, 2 days on a bus. We've got the hotels and everything. So we'll drive around in a bus, stop, see something. And when we're on the bus, education keeps happening. So we will have a captive miles free so that you can ask him questions and he can deliver additional information. The third tour is in Cleveland in 2021. It will be the day after the tech conference ends, which is in April. Our first day will be a tour of the PMTS show to take advantage of all there is to see there. And then we will head out in the Cleveland area to see a steel mill, a tool maker. When we're in the Detroit, Toledo, we'll see the Ford assembly line. So it's the entire supply chain, from the materials to seeing our parts being put into Ford F-51. Additionally, there are 2 books that are going to come with this that are going to be incredible reference books. One is What You Need to Know About Steel, written by our own Miles Free, and also a collection of the crib sheets that Miles has put together over the years. Those come with it. We're going to supply hard hats and safety goggles, and if we need to, masks now, hand sanitizer, etc. But yes, what am I getting?
You had, you even arranged for the audio
Oh, yeah.
mics.
Oh, yeah. So we have an audio system so that each tour guide will have a headset and each attendee will have their own headset as well, so that you can hear what's going on. If you've ever taken a tour in these shops or the mills, they can get rather loud and it's hard to hear what the tour guide is saying. You will be able to hear that. That's going to be available for every possible tour. So again, if you go onto pmpa.org, everything is listed there, including the dates, the stops, the fees, all that good stuff. Or feel free to email me. I'm cmiller@pmpa.org if I didn't answer any of your questions.
Carli, I'd just like to add one thing. So the idea is that you send more than one person because we're trying to promote team problem solving, team knowledge, shared knowledge. So if you send someone from purchasing and someone from operations, instead of getting people saying, well, you bought this and you bought this wrong and you can't, and they say, well, you just don't know how to run it. By getting everybody to see the fundamental forces and the situation, we think it's going to contribute to more collaboration in your shop and much more factual-based problem solving because of that shared knowledge. So we're hopeful that you'll send at least 2 people, purchasing and engineering, purchasing and operating, engineering and operating, your choice.
All right. Well, that wraps up all the questions that we have. Actually, one just came in. Do we have any statistics on PMPA companies that have had COVID-19 cases and how they've handled it?
Statistics, no. I know only of one company that has had experience with the virus with the team in their shop. We've really, to the best of my knowledge, I get about 250 emails a day. We've had one shop that's had it among their workforce, and we've had 2 other shops where a single person had come down with it, but it hadn't gone any further in the shop. So I know of 3 shops with a COVID-19 positive experience. Only one of those where it got them down to skeleton crew.
And in that one where it came down to skeleton crew, to our knowledge, it was mostly positive tests, asymptomatic.
All right. Yeah, all I have left is just some comments thanking you guys for being so diligent and answering our members' questions.
Our pleasure.
It's the basis of our economy.
Well, thank you again for everyone who attended today. We really appreciate it, and we we want to stay in contact with you and be as transparent as possible through this situation and, you know, throughout our time together over the years. Even this, I hope that these town halls will continue to bring you the latest information on what's happening with the organization. Please know that we continue to work diligently and always will for the best of your needs. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great day and you remain safe and healthy, and that we see you in October at the annual meeting, if not before. Yeah, obviously I'm not done with my hazing phase still. Yes, my notes were 84 point something %, but I'll defer to you, Miles, because you're the numbers guy. I'm just the lawyer. What do I know? So
Okay.
have a great day, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good to see you all.